Hello, it says this handout is on the air. Good morning or afternoon or evening, everybody, depending on where you are. Welcome to another exciting lunch with Len. Haha. Gee, it's only 5 days till Christmas. It's the 20th. And Larry, excuse me, Larry. Oh, there's Chris. I thought Chris might show up. Hello, Chris. Will somebody tell me in the chat you can hear and see me? Please tell me. Well, you're going to see me walk away for just a second, but tell me you can hear and see me. Oh, okay. All right. As you know, I'm visiting somebody, so I'm in another house, and normally not where I'm at. And the dog is roaming around trying to decide what he's supposed to be doing. And yes, Chris, yes, does that mean you can hear and see me? I'm going to hope that it does. So what I wanted to do today, folks, is I wanted to talk to you just a little bit and go back through some planning process. And this is, I go through this every year. In fact, I do it every quarter, and we do it a lot of times on Lunch with Len. We go back through some of the quarterly planning and stuff, and I thought I'd just take us right back through it and remind us of some of the things that are sort of important. So let me do a screen share and sharing the screen and presenting to everyone. So hopefully I'm learning how to do this, getting it right. Hi, yeah, okay. And 1 second, and wait up. That was the dog insisting he had to get into the room with me. So now he's in. And so we're sharing the screen, and hopefully you can now see a document that I posted this document into the Lunch with Len group today, and I posted it as a doc file, a Word file, not as a PDF, which means you can edit it. So we've all heard the saying before, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, said by Ben Franklin. And the worksheet, I want to give credit again, is partially modeled after a worksheet generated by Adam and Justice a couple of years ago. I keep modifying it, but that's its origins. I find it useful to stop at least once a year and look at your big vision. Stop and just ask yourself, what does your life look like 3 years from now? Now, some people like to do 1 year, some like to do 5 years. I've compromised on 3 years. The reason for that is we usually overestimate what we can do in 1 year, and we underestimate what we can accomplish in 5. So it seems to me that a reasonable compromise is to try to look out 3 years and ask yourself some critical questions. Right? And you can take as little time as you want to do this or as much time as you want to do this. And the more time you take to do it, the more thorough it is, the more complete your picture is, the more you're going to have to work with in terms of crafting the life that you want to have, rather than letting life craft what it wants for you. So some areas to consider: your relationship. Are you married? Are you single? Are you living with a soulmate? What are you doing? Where are you going? Where are you hanging out? Some things I wrote down, like she's a wonderful woman. We enjoy many things together, including traveling. We spend some of each winter in the mountains skiing, hanging out by the fire. In the spring and fall, we RV around. In the summer, we spend time in Mexico. So these are some of my ideas. I'm at my ideal weight of blah, blah, blah pounds. For me, it's probably 150 to 160 pounds, toned and fit. Remember in the business of planning things, we really want to set measurable goals. Don't, to say I want to lose weight is not a goal. To say I want to weigh 150 pounds and I want to be toned and fit and I'm going to be there by a certain date, that's setting a goal that's achievable, measurable, quantifiable. You can do it. What does your finances look like? Yeah, we all want to be secure and free. We all want to have more money. Well, here's $1. Now you have more money. Well, okay. So let's be a little bit more realistic about what we mean by have more money. And, remember that poor people worry about working cash. Rich people worry about net worth. So what does your net worth look like? That's where we need to focus our energy. If we want to really, truly become financially independent, we want to be measuring our net worth and our residual income. So What does your net worth look like? What does your residual income look like? Where do you want to be? Spiritual. I'll leave that one alone. But what is your relation? I'm not going to spend a lot of time with it, at least. What's your relationship with God look like? Nature. Do you like to take walks in the woods? What do you like to do? How do you relate to nature? It's very important for many people. Finding peace and solitude in nature is a very real thing that gets us out of the stress of our everyday life. Where do you live? What does your residence look like? And everybody knows for me, the residence is not the big issue. For many people, residence is important. For me, it's not so important. My residence has got 8 wheels and a motor. So, I want to be RV and a rod. And then let's take on business. We're going to take on business separately. But the reality is the reason we do business is because we want to achieve a lifestyle. And once again, like sailing a boat across the ocean. If we don't know what the destination is, we don't know how to set the sails. If we don't know how to set the sails, we're not going to get to where we want to go. But it doesn't matter because we didn't know where it was anyhow. So the reality is we want to really try to be very specific about where we're trying to get to. And then we're going to back up and we're going to look at, well, what does it take in business to get there? So, starting with a general statement, 3 years from now, on December 1st or on December 20th or whatever today is, 2019, I am so happy and grateful now that my business is generating. How much income is your business generating? And what's it generating that activity or that money from? What are you doing? What are you giving in return? Remember, the universe isn't going to give you anything unless you give something back. So what are you giving back in return? And, sometimes that's actually hard to think through. To figure out exactly what we're doing to induce the universe to give us what we want. If you're in a network marketing company, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have achieved the rank of, and I have how many distributors in your organization, and I'm enjoying a residual income of. Many people say, well, one of the targets you hear many people talk about is $10,000 a month. So, maybe for you, that's a reasonable number to put in there. I don't know. It's certainly a place to begin. My humble personal opinion is that, $10,000 a month is probably for many of us really, really where we want to get to at least first. It's where I was. Well, actually, I was pretty well past that when I was running the flight school, and I intend to get there again. I'm not there yet, but I will get there. But then when we get there, we're going to want to move on. But, let's set a goal that's realistic. Once again, if right now your income is zero, a goal of $10,000 a month might be reasonable. And if your income is zero today and you set a goal of I want $1 million a month, well, that might be a little bit much for your brain to wrap itself around. It might not be something that your brain can comprehend. And if that's the case, then you're not going to do it. You're not going to work on it because it's unrealistic. So my personal opinion, humble opinion, is that these things have to have some realism to them. And maybe for you, if you're at zero a month right now, maybe $1,000 a month is a reasonable goal. I don't know. But remember, we're projecting out 3 to 5 years. So let's make it a goal that stretches our mind. Let's make a goal that stretches our imagination, but let's not make it so outlandish that our brain refuses to wrap itself around it because it just doesn't believe it's possible. And remember, one of the biggest problems we have is believing that we can do what we want to do. You've got to build belief. You got to have belief. And if you don't have it, it's not going to happen. So let's look at the business then. We know where we want to go to. Let's take our business now down to next year. List 3 to 5 major goals for your business in 2017. What do you want to accomplish? If you're in MLSP, what rank do you want to be at? Assuming you're in the affiliate program. How many affiliates do you want to have, and what rank do you want to be at? Do you want to be L1, L2, L3? Where do you want to be a year from now? If you're in a MLM, same question. What rank do you want to be at? So what are 3 to 5 major goals that you want to accomplish. And then what I would suggest in order to begin to build a plan is to take it apart by quarter. So if you have a goal to be, let's say you're at let me use MLSP as an example because it's a simple one. Let's say that we're at L0 right now and we want to be L3 in a year. Well, maybe the goal for the first quarter is to get to L1. Maybe the next quarter is to get to L2. So we can take these things apart in measurable, quantifiable, realistic, achievable sub goals. So what do you want to do? First, second, third, in terms of getting these goals. I hear a ding. I'm going to look at Marta is messaging me. Where is lunch with Len? Hang on. Let me get her back. I'm sorry, I'm messaging. Just give her the link. Okay. I was thinking one of you might be messaging me, telling me you can't hear me. So here we go, or can't see me. Okay, so hopefully everything's back up and you can see it again. So once again, let's take it apart by quarters. What are the 3 to 5 things we need to do, say, in the first quarter in order to progress toward the goal and get to where we want to go to? So I would suggest taking it apart quarter by quarter. Quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. Now, for most of us, we're in internet network marketing. So what are we going to do? What marketing strategy are we going to employ? One of the tendencies we all have is to get spread too thin, to be trying to do too many things all at once. So ask yourself, what is the marketing strategy? And it's always recommended you own the marketing strategy. So if you're going to be doing Facebook, social, own it. Be an expert. Do everything you can. If you're going to do pay-per-click, fine, own it. Be an expert. I'll give you a recommendation. Whatever you want to do, start teaching it. If you want to do Facebook, for example, start teaching a course about Facebook. Start doing videos about it. Start doing trainings about it. One of the best ways to learn anything is to teach it. And many people think, well, I don't know enough to teach it. No one's going to listen to me. I don't know enough. Well, the reality is you know more than the people that are going to watch your webinar or your training or something. And even if you don't, it's okay. One of the best ways to learn something is to teach it. So bite the bullet. Let's say you want to learn how to do Twitter, or you want to learn how to do LinkedIn. Pick one. Or you want to do Facebook. You're going to do video. Pick one. Whatever you're going to do, start teaching how to do it. Schedule your first webinar. Put it out on January 7th. I'm going to do a webinar on bingo. Schedule it. And put yourself in a corner. Box yourself in. And just make it happen. Make it happen. Because you will learn. If you start teaching, you will learn. So pick one marketing strategy that you're willing to commit to as your primary strategy and that you will absolutely dominate and become an expert in. So what is your primary marketing strategy for the first quarter? What are you going to do? And just do it and start teaching it. So let's say that in order to become an expert in that strategy, there are some things that you need that you don't have yet. What are they? Make a list. What do I need to do in order to really become an expert in this strategy? What do I need to learn? Or what do I need to get? If you're going to do Facebook Live, maybe you need a better phone. I don't know. So I want you to make this your document, not mine. Now, we all do more than one thing. So when we say we're going to have one marketing strategy, that's really a lie. And we never really have one, but we always have at least a secondary strategy. So what's your secondary marketing strategy? So right now, for the last 6, 7, 8 months, my primary has been Facebook and my secondary is Twitter. And of course, I'm doing videos and blogging and all that stuff too. That's all out there. And I do a lot of webinars. let me back up to this idea of teaching. Several weeks, well, I'm gonna go back maybe a couple of months. I'm gonna say I got questions about essential oils. Well, what essential oil should I use for? What if I have an ingrown big toe? What essential oil would be best for that? And I said, you know what? I don't know a damn thing about essential oils. People keep asking questions that I don't know the answers to. So tell you what, let's teach a course on essential oils. So, right now, maybe you'll all quit coming to my essential oils course when you find out that I don't know anything about essential oils. But every day I spend the afternoon researching the essential oil we're going to do tomorrow morning. And this stuff is all being done in real time. I am learning as we go at the same time that you are learning. Hopefully you're learning something. But this is an example of just practicing what I preach, and also remembering ILT. Remember a week and a half or so ago, we taught this on Digging for Gold. We taught the mouse fast click. They hold the mouse button down and it goes clickety clack. Quite honestly, the day before we taught that, I didn't know how to do it. So figured if I didn't know how to do it, it was time to teach it. Committing yourself to teaching something forces you to learn it. And it's that simple. So I challenge you all, every one of you who's on here, you have a lot of knowledge that you can be teaching. And whether you're doing it in blogs, in webinars, in trainings, however you're doing it, you've got a lot of things, a lot of value to offer the marketplace. So once again, on our secondary marketing strategy, what are the things you need to make it work for you? What are you missing? Let's go to the next section now. Mentorship. Who are your heroes? If you could pick one person that you want to be like, who is it? Pick one. Put their name down and write down the reason why. Why do you admire this person? Why would you like to emulate them? Why do you want to be like them? What's important? What are the characteristics? And then be that. Now, I'm not saying duplicate the person, but I'm saying look at what they do to get the things that you admire. And one of my heroes is Ray Higdon. I love this guy. I absolutely love the guy. And so I watch him, I model him, I do a lot of the things he does. I don't do everything, but I do a lot of it. At least I have in the past. So look at the people that you admire, that you think are successful, and look at what they do. And remember the old saying, success leaves clues. And so, find somebody who has what you want, do what they do, you'll get what they got. Now, sometimes we think that's not true. We say, well, I've been following Joe and I've been doing everything he does and I'm not getting the same results he got. Well, are you really doing everything he does? And I'll give you an absolutely good personal example. And in fact, I made this comment last year on Burt Bledsoe's free daily coaching, and I made it intentionally. I follow Ray Higdon. I blog almost every day. Excuse me. How many days does Ray Higdon blog? I think you all know the answer to that. So almost every day isn't following Ray Higdon. I can't tell you that I'm following Ray Higdon right now because I'm not blogging every day. In fact, I've been blogging less than once a week right now the last couple of weeks. That's not following Ray Higdon. So if I say, well, I'm doing what Ray's doing and I'm not getting what he's gotten, I'm lying. The first person I'm lying to is me. So be careful about that. When you're following somebody, make sure that you really are following everything they do. If you want to get everything they've got, make sure you're doing everything they do. My personal advice. Do as I say, don't do as I do. I don't necessarily follow my own advice sometimes, but look, find Figure out who your mentors are, who are the people you admire, what they want to do. Write down their names, and then ask yourself the following question. And remember, Diane Hoffman has said this, and so have others, and I believe it. I believe it's true. You know, if we just did what we already know how to do, we'd achieve success. So if I go to Ray Higdon and I asked him, Ray, what would you advise me to do? And I can tell you that he would tell me to be more consistent. That's one of the things he would tell me to do. So write that down. I got to be more consistent. Okay. Go to person number 2 on your list. Terry Grimal. I love that guy. Terry, what would you tell me to do? Pick up the friggin' phone and make more dials. Okay. Yep, that's what he'd tell me to do. I need to do that. I need to be making more dials. So in many times we already know what we need to do in order to move forward. One of Tony Robbins's favorite questions, Tony Robbins, if he asks somebody, what do you want to do? And they say, I don't know. And his favorite question is, well, if you did know, what would it be? And inevitably, they come up with the answer. What would you like your life to be like? I don't know. Well, if you did know, what would it look like? And they instantly open up and they spill. So ask yourself, if person number 2, what would person number 2 or person number 1 tell you to do? And if you say, I don't know, then the next question is, well, if you did know, what do you think it would be? And you'll come up with the answer. Your brain will come up with the answer. So, who do you have to become in order to achieve your goals? What are the characteristics of the person you've got to become in order to achieve your goals? Give that some thought. Because, you know, it's often been said many times that network marketing is a personal growth business with a product and a comp plan attached. In order to achieve the results we want to achieve in the business we're all in, we have to grow into something that we're not already today. And we have to grow continuously. So what is it that we have to grow, and what does that person look like? What are you becoming? What are you in the process of morphing into? And if you don't know the answer to that, this is a good place to spend some time and really think that one through. Is what are the important characteristics? Maybe you need to be more giving. Maybe you need to be more tolerant of people. Maybe you need to be more caring. Maybe you need to be more outgoing. I don't know what you need to be. But whatever it is, this is the key to your success. The key to your success is lying in who is the person that I have to become in order to achieve the goals that I want to achieve. And then finally, you know, what am I willing to give in order to receive? I wrote this a couple of years ago. I recommend starting with the television in the evening and the morning news. There's no need to flood your brain with negativity. In fact, I'll go so far as to say that if you persist in watching the news, you will not achieve your objectives. I personally believe the news is so negative as to be counter personal growth. And you might consider stopping delivery of the newspaper also. You don't need it. So people say, well, I gotta know what's going on in the world. No, you don't. You really need to see on a daily basis how many people were killed in Syria? Are you doing anything about it? Can you do anything about it? And if the answer is no, then give it up. You don't need to know it. This is not information that is advancing you as a person. Now, there may be someday when you advance as a person to the point where you have $1 million in the bank that you don't know what to do with it, then you can contribute to helping stop some of that stuff. Then maybe you need to know. But is it really helping you today, or are you just flooding your brain with negativity that you don't need, that's inhibiting your growth today? So to me, the news is completely irrelevant. To 90% of the news is completely irrelevant, and the 10% that might be relevant is usually wrong anyhow. Speaking of, you know, I have a family member who shall remain unnamed at this moment in time, who calls me up every now and then and warns me about the next great disaster that's about to happen next week and wants to know what I'm going to do about it. The good news is that none of her disasters that she's warned me about have ever come to pass. And then she gets mad at me when I tell her that she's listening to the wrong people, but that's it. So let's look at our daily method of operation, or maybe our weekly method of operation. So in order to get to where you want to go to, what are you going to do? What is it that you have to do? How many videos are you going to make? How many blog posts are you going to make? How many articles are you going to write? How many people are you going to talk to? How many dolls are you going to make? What is it that you need to do? How many people, if you're following us on Twitter, how many people are you going to add to Twitter every day, et cetera? Without a well-defined daily method of operation, you won't get to where you want to go to. And what about training? Do you need any additional training? Most of us are already overtrained. We don't need any more training. We need to get into action. We need to do more activities and less training. But if there is something that you need, then what is it? And when are you going to have it done by? Make a commitment. Are there any tools that you're missing? Do you need an AWeber account? Do you need a smartphone? Do you need, whatever, a camera, a microphone? Is there something you're missing that you need? And if so, again, make a commitment. When are you going to get it? Now, what are your major blocks? This is a good place to spend some time. What's holding you back? Can you identify one or more major blocks that continue to plague you? Childhood conditioning. Do you still have negative beliefs surrounding money? When somebody says, go on a vacation, is your immediate reaction, well, I can't afford that. What are your real intrinsic thoughts about money? What are your real intrinsic thoughts about your own self-worth? Can you look in a mirror and put your arms around yourself and say, I love you, and mean it and feel it? Or are you still struggling with believing that you are worthy as a person? And if you are, these are areas that you may need to continue to do some work on. So what's holding you back? What are you afraid of? What wakes you up at 3 o'clock in the morning? And what can you do to overcome it and move forward? Will you commit to reading 10 pages of a good book every day? Will you commit to personal development seminar? Will you commit to meditation? Will you commit to company events that you're going to attend? What are you going to do in order for you to get to where you want to go to? And finally, if you're struggling with, I don't know if I can do this or not, how can I do it? What can I do? Hang on. I'm looking for, I'm hearing dings coming in from Facebook. If you're struggling with whether or not I can do this, what are some of the successes you've already had in your life? Past accomplishments. Stop and give yourself credit for what you've already accomplished. And if you've been working with me for the last year or two, it's time to stop and reflect back on 2016 and give yourself credit for what you have accomplished. Because I can promise you, if you think it through, that you have a lot to be grateful for and a lot that you've accomplished. You've done a lot this year. Maybe you haven't done everything you wanted, and that's why it's time to stop and just assess where we are, reset the plan. We're going to fine tune the sails and check the set of the rudder and see what the currents are and which way the wind's blowing, and then we're going to move on toward the goal. And maybe we're going to even adjust the goal a little bit. And finally, what are your most powerful and important characteristics that you can call on to help you succeed? What are you good at? What do you really like to do? And try to form up your plans around what you really like to do and what you're really good at. And I would think that it's time to revisit your I am statements. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. So what are you? I can tell you what some of mine are. I am successful. I am productive. I am free. I am happy. And and these are important things that I actually review twice a day, in the morning when I get up and in the evening when I go to bed. So what are yours? What's important to you? And finally, here's a short reading list. And, I talked about this list the other day too, last week, but things like The Success Principle from Jack Canfield, The Motivation Manifesto, Think and Grow Rich, Outwitting the Devil, The Attractor Factor, Joe Vitale's book, Beyond Positive Thinking, Mind Power in the 21st Century, and on and on and on. If you haven't read these books, just run down my list. If you've read every book on the list, good for you. Congratulations. Awesome. There's a lot more books to read. If you haven't read every book on this list, that's what you should be working on. Remember, if you only commit to doing 10 pages a day, that's one book a month. That's 12 books a year. So make your list, check it twice, and decide which books you're going to read next. And get them ordered. I don't have the money to order all those books all at once. Fine, order one. Okay? Or many of these things you can find. You can probably find the whole Think and Grow Rich on YouTube. I don't know. I've never looked for it there because I actually like to have the hard copies of the books because I like to make marks in the books. I'm back. Now, I ran through that. Hello, everybody. I got some new people here. Larry, you were here. Cynthia, hello. Rob, hello. Marta, you made it in. Bill, hello. Chris, hello. Somebody sent me a message. Rick finds books on YouTube all the time. Yeah, I've read a lot of those. Great. Yes, Marta, he uploaded. Okay. So listen, folks, here's the deal. You might think, oh God, he's going to go through this planning stuff again. Didn't he do that last year? Yeah, he did. But you know what? It really is important to revisit this stuff and to refresh our plan. Give yourself credit for what you have accomplished this year and set the stage for what you're going to accomplish next year. And let's make 2017 the best year we've ever had. Let's make it better. And we can do that. Each and every one of us, we have the capability. You have the power to do anything you want to do. You have that power. You just have to learn how to use it. Yeah. Thank you, Chris. So, having said that, I'm going to wrap this up. I've decided to cancel Digging for Gold today. And the reason being, to be very honest with you, is that, I'm up north, I'm visiting my family. I'm dropping off the amount of things that I'm able to get done on a daily basis. And I don't really have anything new to offer you today, except, I just don't really have anything new to offer you today. And I'm just gonna drop it off. So we're gonna drop Digging for Gold and pick it up again in January. And we'll start over again. And don't forget that Laura's doing the corporate webinar tonight. I would like to ask everyone who possibly can get on and just support her. So once again, it's gogreengetpaid.com live. Gogreengetpaid.com live at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So, having said that, I'm not going to do lunch with Len on Thursday. I'm just going to let it go. And next week, I'm going skiing. So we're going to basically pretty much wrap up the year this week. And for those of you who are on the daily essential oil webinars, I made the same decision about the essential oils. I am not going to be able to keep up with the essential oils webinars next week. So I'm going to either do a lousy job or put them off. So we're we're going to stop the essential oil series. The last one will be Friday this week. We'll finish off this week, and then we're going to put them on hold until next year. So that's pretty much where we are. So pretty much we're going to wind down the webinars because I can't keep up. No, that's not true. I can keep up, but I choose not to, because I'm going to choose to spend the few days that I have up here with my family. Because as you know, I live 550 miles away from them, so I don't get to see them very often. So that's it. I will put the notices up. I will cancel the actual webinars we're canceling, so you'll get email reminders that the webinar is canceled. So you shouldn't have any trouble. So Digging for Gold is gone. Lunch with Len is gone for the rest of the year. We're going to finish up the essential oil webinars this week, and then they'll be gone for the rest of the year next week. And I hope everybody has an absolutely wonderful holiday. If anybody needs me, I'm still here. I'll be on my computer. I'll be receiving messages. So if I can do anything for anybody, just ask. All right? And that's all for today. So thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope you got value. I put that Word file is up in Lunch with Len. Go ahead and print it out. Spend some time with it over the next week and a half. Spend some time thinking about what you want next year to be like. And if you need any help, ask. Okay? We'll talk again. And with that, I'm going to click the stop broadcast. Bye for now.